Changing your gross margins. It's one of the most important things you could ever do in a professional services company like I have at Sales for Life, a managed service or kind of tech-enabled service like I have at Pipeline Signals, or a SaaS organization. So changing your gross margins means changing the cost structure to be able to service your customers. So think of what's called cost of goods sold or cost of delivery. So what does it cost you between customer success, customer support, product support, everything day-to-day operations to support that customer? Now, what I've done at Sales for Life, at Pipeline Signals, and here at Get Levrg is be able to leverage an offshore team, an outsourced team that is highly capable of running both the front end of the customer experience, so customer success, and the back end of the experience. So think of data, analytics, reports. And let me tell you a story about the power of reducing your cost of delivery, your cost of goods sold, to be able to do a couple things. Optionality number one, change your price. It allows you to become much more competitive, allows you to reduce your price, which is counterintuitive to what a lot of people talk about. But it allows you to drown out your competition because you can service your customer in a way that your competition just can't. Number two, it allows you to become wildly more profitable so you can redeploy those profits back into launching new products, expanding your service offering to a 24/7, 365 model. This is what I've done. So at Sales for Life, I have the ability to grade reports, as an example, in 24 hours. Anywhere around the world, customers send in reports or send in their certification summaries for social selling mastery. I'm able to grade them within 24 hours. I have a team being able to run around a clock, being able to grade and provide feedback to students. It allows me to service office hours in EMEA and APAC because we can create shift work. Every 8 hours, you can have somebody working in customer support tickets, helping people log in, helping be able to service customers on their hours. So back to my story, what we had done at Pipeline Signals is my organization, the delivery mechanism as it started was providing data and sales intelligence primarily in a CSV file, an Excel file. And then eventually we moved to a software application. So you need analysts to acquire the data. You need analysts and quality assurance to be able to take data, manipulate that data, turn it into sales intelligence, so actionable insights, and then present those insights to the customer. What did we do? So going offshore, partnering with a team to build a wireframe that would be the future to what the software UX, the user experience, would look like. So you use spreadsheets to design something to battle test, so beta test with your customers, get it out in the market. So for $300, we built a fully functioning spreadsheet that had pivot tables and everything that could be cookie cutted from customer 1 to customer 2 to customer 3. For $300, we had basically built the beginnings of a software package. And now, using an offshore team, every time we'd win a customer, the team offshore would make a copy, change the code in the spreadsheet, release it to a customer. It could be branded for the customer. It allowed the customer to manipulate the data in, again, search functions and pivot tables. And this is so critical because if you were to ask, your internal teammates to do this, you would be taking people who get paid a lot of money. We'll call them $500 an hour value creators. And you're asking them to do $5 an hour tasks that they don't know how. They spend more time researching and trying to figure it out than just executing on it. So you just burn up so many cycles. Now it allows you to go into the market and find experts, specialists who can pinpoint. You need something done on a Shopify site. Find a Shopify expert. You need somebody who is an expert in spreadsheets and pivot tables. Go online, grab that talent, work on a project, costs you a couple $100. It's done while you sleep. 24 hours later, you wake up, it's done. And now you have a supporting mechanism to be able to battle test software ideas. You can use, again, WordPress sites, you can use spreadsheets, you can use payment gateways like Stripe or Shopify to put together a alpha and beta version of something you want to offer your customer. You get a chance to test it. You get a chance to be able to manipulate it a lot faster than if you hard coded it and developed it into a hardcore software. You get to now iterate with your customer at an extremely inexpensive means of doing it. $50 a report, $100 a report, a couple $100 a report is worth being able to manipulate everything to test it with your customers. So to summarize, one of the most powerful things that you could do is, as you want to change your cost of delivery, cost of goods sold, look at the cost to service the customer in each and every one of these functions. So to onboard them, to reply to support tickets and troubleshoot challenges, to do data and analytics, to be able to run quarterly business reviews, and break all of the tasks down and separate them into two buckets. What are kind of $5 an hour tasks that are required? They're rote, mechanical. Not everybody wants to do them, but they're important, but you would call them $5 an hour tasks. Put them into that bucket. The bucket where it's just point and shoot tactical execution of tasks. And then bucket number 2, we'll call them the $500 value creators. So the great onboarding experience, running OKRs or quarterly business reviews with your customers, trying to upsell and cross-sell that customer into new products. Those are much more strategic, more difficult conversations that are customer facing. Everything that's a $5 an hour task, ask yourself, why is my internal team doing this? Why am I paying $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 a year for somebody to do this? Break the tasks down and you'll start to recognize you can deploy specialists into those tasks, freeing up the amount of workload given to your $500 an hour value creation. So maybe you need less expensive people, but they can run the onboarding calls, the quarterly business reviews, the upsells and cross-sells with your customers. That's all part of your cost of delivery, cost of goods sold. And then everything else, the behind the scenes to execute the dream, can be done offshore. This is why Deloitte, KPMG, Ernst Young, they've been doing this not only for years offshore, but think of the model in a professional services firm. You have the partners of the firm that win the business. They have the big strategic conversations with customers. And it's the junior analysts and the associates that do all of the day-to-day actions and activities to serve the customer. It's the same model. But in your small to medium business, how do you afford to be able to service that customer? Do you want to be able to maybe double your profit margins, or you want to be able to reduce your prices in half, drowning your competition? The only way to do that is to play with the denominator, not the numerator, not trying to charge more, perhaps playing with the denominator, how much it costs you to serve that customer. Now can I go from 60% gross margins to 80% gross margins? To me, that's the baseline. 80% gross margins in any professional services firm, in any tech-enabled service. If you're in SaaS software, you're trying to achieve 90-some%. And the only way to do this, look at the costs that you're deploying in your customer success, customer support, product, servicing that customer, and look at reducing those costs. Break down the people, $5 an hour tasks, $500 an hour value creators, and really think about how you create specialists in certain roles to dramatically drive down your cost of delivery. Hope this helps.